It has been a year living in this hell of a swamp. A year of being hunted day and night by the dead. 1 full year since I last saw a living face or heard a human voice. Every morning I wake up wondering if today is the day I finally mess up. If I make one wrong sound, one wrong step. The world did not end all at once. It rotted slowly. And somehow, I am still here. The world I knew is gone. Every place, every name, every memory that mattered. Everyone I cared about vanished without goodbye. What is left now is a land filled with the dead, roaming, searching, hunting for food that still breathes. I do not know if anyone else is out there, if anyone survived, if anyone is still holding on like I am. Some nights I talk out loud, just to remember how a human voice sounds. And until I know the answer, I keep moving, I keep breathing, I stay alive. I woke up in a hospital bed. Machines were silent, the lights were dead, nothing was working. I did not know how long I had been out. I did not know why no one was there. The halls were empty. No doctors, no nurses, no voices. That is when it hit me. I woke up alone, in a world that had already ended. I pushed myself out of the bed and tried to stand. My body felt wrong, heavy. Even speaking out loud took effort. God knows how long I had been in that coma, long enough for the world to move on without me. I started walking through the hospital, step by step. Empty corridors, no power, no staff, nothing alive. Then I saw them, the dead, locked inside rooms, pressed against doors and glass. At first, I did not understand what I was looking at. My mind tried to deny it, tried to make sense of something that could not be explained. And then it hit me. This was bad, really bad. Whatever happened out there, it followed me in here. I knew I could not stay. I had to get out of that hospital, and I had to find somewhere safe, as fast as I could.
Message for all survivors out there. My name is John Dries. If you can hear this, you are not alone. Over. Me and other survivors built a shelter high in the Montana mountains. The dead can't reach us here. We are safe. Over. If you can, head up to Montana. Move toward Castle Mountain. We will be there. We will find you. Over. God be with you. Avoid big cities. They are full of the dead. We will be broadcasting on this frequency every day. Over.
I was trying to find a car that still worked. Anything that could get me out of here. The streets were dead. No lights, no voices. Just abandoned vehicles and silence stretching for miles. I did not know how long I had been gone. Days, weeks, maybe longer. Long enough for the world to forget how things used to be. All I could think about was home. About my wife. I kept telling myself she was still there, or at least safe somewhere. I needed answers. I needed to know what happened, and the only way to find out was to keep moving. Now that I know there are survivors in Montana, everything changes. It means the world is not completely gone. If people are alive there, maybe my wife is too. That thought is enough to keep me breathing, enough to keep me moving. To get there, I need to reach the city, find a car that still runs, food, water, anything that can last the journey. I cannot stay in this swamp anymore. They are out there, hunting me, listening, watching, looking for a moment when I am too tired to run. The dead do not sleep, but neither can I. I will leave this place for good. Montana is my only chance. I do not know what caused this, how the world fell apart so fast. One day there were people everywhere, and the next, only silence. Was it a virus? An experiment? Something we were never meant to touch? No one was left to explain it to me. But I need to find out, because maybe, just maybe, there is something that can still be done. A cure, a way to bring people back. If there is not, then the dead will keep spreading. They will consume every living creature on this planet until nothing breathes anymore. I cannot accept that ending. I need answers, and I hope I can find them in Montana. The swamp is full of them. Everywhere I step, I feel like I am being watched. The air is heavy, still, rotting. They move slowly out here. Some sink into the mud and cannot get back out, their bodies dragged down by the weight of decay. I can hear them struggling, even when I cannot see them. Others are smarter. They learn. They find solid ground. Those ones follow me through the water, step by step, never rushing, never stopping. I cannot shoot them. One gunshot would echo across the swamp. It would travel through the trees, through the fog, calling every dead thing within miles. This place would be overrun in minutes. The water would be full of them, the land too. No way out. I move slowly, carefully, holding my breath when they get too close, listening for splashes behind me that do not belong to the wind. I will not die here, not in this swamp, not surrounded by the dead. I just need to keep moving and stay silent. I have killed so many of them, more than I can remember. Some days it feels like that is all I have been doing since the world ended. No matter how many I put down, more keep turning up, dragging themselves out of the dark, out of buildings, out of places that should have been empty long ago. But something has changed. For the last 2 months, their numbers have started to drop. Fewer footsteps, fewer shadows moving at night. Maybe they are dying. But how does something die when it is already dead? Or maybe they have moved on, found a new place, new food. I do not know the answer. God knows. All I know is this silence will not last forever. The suburbs are abandoned now. Entire neighborhoods, frozen in place. Houses standing open like they are still waiting for someone to come back. Cars sit in driveways, untouched. Lawns overgrown. Toys left where children dropped them. Every street looks the same, like time stopped all at once. I keep asking myself the same question. Are these people dead? Or did they make it out? Did they find somewhere safe before it was too late? For a year, I have walked this route, over and over, looking for food, supplies, anything that might help me survive one more day. I know every shortcut, every broken fence, every house that still has something left inside. But I never get used to what I see. This place used to be full of the dead. They filled the streets, the houses. The silence was never this deep. Now even they are gone. Like this land was too empty for them, like there is nothing left here worth hunting. That scares me more than when they were everywhere, because it means something has changed, and I do not know if that change is good or worse. This landscape is forsaken, but I keep moving through it anyway, because stopping is not an option, and somewhere out there, life has to still exist. Even the dead are leaving this place now, one by one. Day after day, there are fewer of them roaming these streets. It is almost like even they have had enough. I watch them disappear into the distance, moving away from the suburbs, away from the empty houses and silent roads, like this place no longer holds anything for them. I keep wondering how they know it is time to leave, how they choose when to move on. I always believed they did not think, that there was nothing left inside them, no memory, no instinct beyond hunger. But seeing this makes me question everything, because leaving means choice, and choice means something is still working in there, something broken, but alive in its own way. If they can move on, then maybe staying here is the real danger. Maybe this place is dying faster than the rest of the world, drained of life, drained of purpose. That means this might be my only chance. With fewer of them around, I can move faster, search deeper, find a car that still runs, fuel, supplies for the road. I cannot wait anymore. Montana is out there, and if there are survivors, that is where answers begin. If my wife is still alive, that is where she will be. This place is finished. Even the dead know it. Now it is my turn to leave. The police station. I never thought I would feel relief standing in front of a place like this, but right now, it feels like opportunity. Inside these walls, there are weapons, ammo, protection, everything a man like me needs to stay alive a little longer, everything I cannot find out there anymore. But the building is not empty. It is full of the dead, still trapped inside, officers, prisoners, people who never escaped when the world collapsed. They are still behind bars, locked in cells, locked in rooms where no one ever came back for them. A year has passed, maybe more. No food, no water, and yet they are still dangerous. They move when they hear me, hands scraping metal, teeth snapping at nothing, hunger that never fades. I used to believe time would weaken them, that without feeding they would rot away into nothing. But standing here now, I know how wrong I was. They do not get tired. They do not give up. They wait. One wrong sound in this place and every cell will come alive. Every hallway will echo, and there will be no room to run. I have to be careful, slow, silent, one step at a time. These weapons might save my life, or this place might be where it ends. Either way, I am going inside. Now that I have the guns, the next problem is clear. I need a car, and I need food, enough to last the road ahead. The police station had nothing left to offer. No vehicles, no fuel, just empty garages and echoes of a life that ended here long ago. Food is worse. Most of what is left are old cans, rusting, dented, expired so long ago the labels have almost peeled away. But right now, old cans might be my only option. The mall keeps coming back to me. A supermarket inside, big shelves, storage rooms. If anything survived, it would be there. But getting there on foot would take too long, and it would leave me exposed. I need wheels, something big, something strong enough to push through debris, something that can carry supplies and keep going. That is when I saw it. The bus, parked near the school. Dust covered, windows cracked, but still standing. Maybe it still works, maybe it does not. But a bus like that was built to last, built to run every day without mercy. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to move. It just has to get me to the mall, and then out of this place. I am done waiting, done hoping things will come to me. That bus will do. If I am going to take that bus across the country, it needs work, reinforcement, protection. I know a workshop down the road from the mall, tools, metal, things I can use to keep myself alive. But before any of that, I need food, enough to last days, maybe weeks. The road to Montana will not forgive mistakes. That means going inside the mall, the supermarket, wide open spaces, long corridors, too many places to hide. The dead are always there, roaming between aisles, dragging their feet across broken tiles, drawn back again and again to the same place. I think I know why. A lot of survivors came here when everything fell apart, looking for food, looking for safety, looking for each other. Most of them never left. They found what they needed for a moment, and then they became part of the shelves, part of the silence. Food for the dead that came after. Every step inside that place is a risk. Every sound can bring them closer. And there is no easy way out once they start moving. But I do not have a choice. No food means no journey. No journey means no Montana. No answers. I will take what I can, move slow, stay quiet, get back to the bus before they know I was there. That workshop can wait. First, I survive the mall. Then I make the bus ready, and I leave this place behind. I have everything I need now. Metal plates, bars, bolts, tools scattered across the floor of the workshop. Enough to turn that bus into a moving fortress. Strong enough to push through debris. Strong enough to keep the dead outside. Strong enough to get me all the way to Montana. At least, that is the idea. There is just one problem. I do not know how to weld. I keep thinking about my father, standing in his workshop, mask down, sparks flying, me watching from the doorway, pretending I was not interested. I never asked him to teach me, never thought I would need to know. Back then, these were just skills. Now they are survival. I look at the welding machine, the cables, the torch, trying to remember what my hands are supposed to do, what not to touch, what not to mess up. How hard can it be? That is what people always say before things go wrong, before mistakes leave scars, or worse. But I do not have the luxury of waiting. There is no one left to teach me, no second chances, no safety net. I will learn the hard way, like everything else now. One spark at a time, one mistake at a time. It does not have to be pretty. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to hold. My father made it look easy. Now it is my turn to find out how bad I can really be. I stand back and look at it, and for the first time in a long while, I am amazed. I did this, with my own hands. Metal welded onto metal, plates bolted where glass used to be, every weak point sealed. It is not pretty. The welds are rough, the lines are uneven, but the bus does not look like a vehicle anymore. It looks like a beast, heavy, armored, built to survive a world that wants you dead. The windows are gone, replaced with steel and mesh. The front reinforced to push through whatever stands in the road. The sides thick enough to take impact without giving in. I remember doubting myself, standing in this workshop thinking I would fail, thinking I was about to waste the last good chance I had. But it held. Every weld, every joint. Nothing cracked, nothing gave way. This bus is ready, ready for the road. Ready for Montana, ready for whatever follows me out there. No zombie is getting through this. Not teeth, not hands, not numbers. For the first time since the world ended, I feel prepared. Not safe, but ready. Montana is no longer just hope. It is a destination, and this beast is going to take me there. The night. I still remember the first one. I woke up in a hospital bed, alone. Machines silent, lights flickering like they were about to give up too. I did not know how long I had been there, or why no one came. I found a car in the parking lot, keys still inside, like someone had stepped out for a moment and never came back. When I drove into the city, it felt unreal. Streets empty, traffic lights changing for no one, buildings standing but lifeless, like I was moving through a nightmare I could not wake up from. That was the first time I understood something was wrong, deeply wrong. I drove home, hoping, praying, telling myself everything would make sense once I got there. But my house was partially destroyed, walls broken, furniture overturned, and my wife, she was gone. That was the moment it truly hit me. This was worse than I had imagined, worse than fear, worse than chaos. Then I found the note, her handwriting, shaking, rushed. She wrote that she had gone north, toward safety, toward hope. She did not know if I was alive, but she believed I would survive. That note saved me. It gave me something to hold on to, something stronger than fear. From that night on, I kept moving, kept surviving, not just for myself, but for the chance that she is still out there. That hope is what carries me forward, even now, even after everything. A gas station. That is what I need right now. Fuel, maybe a few supplies left behind. Places like this were lifelines once. Now they are traps, too open, too exposed. I can see them on the road, zombies roaming between abandoned cars, moving without purpose, until something gives them one. It will not take them long. A sound, a smell, one wrong move, and they will know I am here. And then they will come to feed. I have to be fast, in and out, no noise, no hesitation, no second attempts. I check the pumps, the doors, the shadows around the building. Every detail matters now. This is not the time for mistakes, not after everything it took to get this far, not with Montana waiting. I take a breath, grip my weapon, and move. There is no way for error now. There is not much fuel left in this station. Just enough to matter. Just enough to keep going. The tanks are almost dry. The pumps struggle, like they are giving me the last thing they have. The shop is empty too. Shelves picked clean, drawers open. Maybe other survivors passed through here before me. I wonder where they went, if they made it, or if the road took them like it took so many others. Still, this will do. The fuel. What little food I can find. It is not much, but it is enough. Enough to get me out of here. Enough to put distance between me and the dead. Enough to take me to Montana. I seal the tank, check the road ahead, and do not look back. Sometimes survival is not about having everything you need. It is about having just enough. They say it began in laboratories, not in the streets, not in the cities, but in places built to be perfect. Clean rooms, filtered air, white walls meant to keep danger out. Scientists worked behind glass, wearing masks long before the rest of us did. They studied viruses like puzzles, breaking them apart, putting them back together, changing pieces to see what would happen. They told themselves it was necessary, that they were preventing something worse, that control meant safety. But control is a fragile thing. I imagine them late at night, tired, rushed, deadlines looming, funding depending on results. That is how mistakes are born, not from evil, from confidence, from believing nothing can go wrong because it never has before. They altered viruses, made them stronger, more adaptable, more resistant, calling it research, calling it preparation. They acted like gods, deciding which risks were acceptable, which lives were numbers on a chart, which warnings could be ignored. No one outside those walls had a say. We trusted them, because we always had. Then something slipped. A breach, a misstep, an assumption that proved wrong. At first it was quiet. An infection here, a cluster there. Doctors spoke in careful language. They said it was contained. They always say that. But planes kept flying. People kept moving. Business continued like nothing had changed. The virus did not need permission. It crossed borders without passports. It moved through crowds without being seen. Cities lit up on maps, then countries, then continents. Red circles spreading faster than updates could follow. Sirens became constant. Hospitals overflowed. People stopped counting days and started counting losses. By the time they called it a global crisis, it was already everywhere. The world did not end all at once. It unraveled, quietly, then all at the same time. When fear took hold, governments moved fast. Orders replaced explanations. Rules replaced trust. Quarantine became the word of the day. Stay inside. Do not gather. Do not ask questions. Homes turned into borders. Front doors became lines you were not meant to cross. The streets emptied faster than I thought possible. Cities that once roared fell silent. No traffic, no footsteps, only wind and distant alarms. Police enforced curfews. Drones watched intersections. Announcements echoed through empty neighborhoods. At first, people complied. They believed it would be temporary. Weeks passed, then months, and the silence became normal. Hospitals collapsed under the weight. Beds filled hallways. Staff slept on floors, especially the old. They were everywhere. Older people arrived struggling to breathe. Some never left. Families waited outside, helpless. That is when corporations stepped forward. Pharmaceutical giants, biotech firms, promising solutions. They moved faster than science ever should. Trials shortened, warnings softened, timelines erased. A vaccine was announced, then produced, then distributed, almost overnight. People lined up, desperate, afraid, clutching papers like tickets to survival. I saw queues wrapping around hospitals, old men leaning on canes, old women sitting on the pavement waiting. Hospitals were full, funeral homes were full, so people believed. Fear does something to the human mind. It makes hope irresistible. They rolled up their sleeves, trusted the needle, trusted the promise. No one imagined what would come next. I remember when the hospitals stopped feeling like places of healing. They became something else. Crowded, overwhelmed, broken.
Here is your
Every
confirmation
corridor
paper.
was full.
Please proceed
Beds
through the
lined the
entrance
walls.
right there.
Chairs turned into
you.
stretchers. People waiting hours just to be seen.
Confirm your name and
Some
date of
waiting
birth,
days.
John
Some
Doe,
never making it
January
inside
1st,
at all.
1980.
Thank
The air
you.
was thick with
And are you
coughing,
feeling all right
with
today?
fear,
All
with
right, the next
exhaustion.
person can come
Doctors
forward now.
moved like
Please have your
shadows, barely
confirmation
holding
ready.
themselves together. Nurses stopped counting shifts. Time lost meaning in those buildings. I saw people suffering, gasping for breath, shaking with fever. Old men clinging to life. Old women whispering names of people who were not there anymore. The hospitals were full. Not just busy, full. Overflowing beyond what they were ever meant to handle. Outside, vaccination centers appeared overnight. Tents, converted gyms, parking lots filled with lines that never seemed to end. People queued in silence, wrapped in coats, leaning on one another, holding documents like they were tickets out of hell. Some arrived before sunrise. Some slept in their cars, especially the elderly, especially those who knew they would not survive another infection. They were told this was the answer, the only answer, a way back to normal. And while people waited, while they suffered, while hospitals collapsed under the weight of humanity, someone else was thriving. Corporations moved fast, faster than governments, faster than doctors, faster than the truth. Contracts were signed, stocks surged, executives gave interviews about hope and innovation, about saving the world. I watched the numbers climb, profits announced on screens, smiling faces behind polished desks, talking about success, while people died alone. Hospitals begged for equipment, for staff, for time, but money flowed upward, not outward. Vaccines were sold by the millions, then the billions. Production scaled up overnight. Questions scaled down just as fast. Side effects were minimized. Doubts were silenced. Anyone asking too much was called dangerous. Fear became a tool, used carefully, precisely, enough to keep people compliant, enough to keep them lining up. That is when the thought crept in, slow at first, uncomfortable. What if this was not just incompetence? What if it was not just panic? What if it was intentional? The shortages, the rushed solutions, the refusal to slow down, the way money never stopped moving, even as people did. It felt like suffering had become part of the system, a necessary pressure, a reason to push harder, to sell faster, to silence doubt. I am not saying they planned the collapse, but they used it, every second of it. Hospitals stayed full, vaccination lines stayed long, and the corporations kept reporting record profits. People were numbers again, statistics, risk groups, acceptable losses. That realization changed something in me. It broke whatever trust I had left. Because when you see who benefits from suffering, you start to understand how the world really works. And once you understand that, you know help is not coming. That is when survival stops being about medicine, or systems, or promises. It becomes about walking away before the system decides you are no longer worth saving.
What is happening to him? He is dying. From what? We don't know.
The vaccine did not stop the virus. It changed it. People started getting sick again, different this time, worse. High fevers, violent confusion, sudden aggression. Doctors said it was temporary, an immune response, a rare complication. Then patients stopped responding to treatment. Their bodies shut down, but did not stay that way. The first one died on a table, heart flat, brain silent. Then the heart started again. Different rhythm, different movement, no awareness. They attacked without hesitation. No fear, no pain, just hunger. That was when the truth surfaced. The virus had mutated, and the vaccine helped it adapt. Death was no longer an end state. It was a transition. Hospitals fell first, then cities, then the world followed. That was the moment humanity lost control, not with a scream, but with a medical chart no one could explain. And the dead began to walk. I finally reached Montana. After all this distance, all this time, all this silence on the road. The land changes here. Mountains rising in the distance, wide open spaces, snow clinging to the ground like it never plans to leave. The cold cuts deeper than I expected. It seeps through metal, through clothes, through skin. Every breath burns just a little. But I am not alone here. I can see them. Zombies roaming between trees, along frozen roads, moving slowly, dragging themselves through the snow. The cold has changed them. Their bodies are stiff, their movements delayed, like the world itself is fighting back. They are still dangerous, I know that. All it takes is one mistake, one slip, one moment of relief. But for the first time, they do not feel unstoppable. The cold weakens them, slows their hunger, buys me time. I move carefully, watching every ridge, every tree line, every abandoned structure buried under snow. This place could still kill me. The cold, the dead, the silence that hides both. But this is where the trail leads, where my wife said she was going, where survivors were rumored to be hiding. A safe haven, somewhere warm, somewhere guarded, somewhere the dead cannot reach easily. I do not know if it is real, or if it is just another story people told themselves, to keep walking. Still, I cling to it, because hope is lighter than fear and easier to carry this far north. I cannot stay exposed for long. The weather is turning. The wind is picking up. Night will come early here. I need to find shelter, find signs of life, find the safe haven before the cold decides for me. I did not come this far to stop now. Not after everything I lost. Not after everything I survived. Montana was never the end. It was the test. And I am still breathing.
I never thought I would
Somewhere out here,
standing in front
there
of a
has
place
to be
like this.
safety.
But right now, it feels like opportunity.
When will this end?
Prepare the horses. We are going down to the city.
Are we safe here from the dead walking around the town?
You are safe here.
Where does the old man want to go again? If he We need guns and ammunition and some supplies for this trip. We need to be back by dark. It's already late.
I hate this life. I hate this life, God.
I am transmitting again from Montana Safe Haven. For those who don't know, there is still a government, still troops. They are hunting survivors. Avoid them at all costs. We have food, shelter, weapons, and numbers. Anyone who comes, come in peace. Over. Avoid the big cities. The dead gather there in numbers. If you need fuel or supplies, move through small towns. If you're driving, head for the mountains. We'll find you there. If you're on foot, stay out of the forests. Over.
If you have supplies, food, ammo, weapons, bring everything you can. We need all the help available. Over. May God be with you. Travel safe. We're here, waiting for you.
Over.
It's time. We need to move now if we want to be back before nightfall.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's move.
Lead us. It's all right, boy. We'll make it. Easy now.
I have a feeling this story is bigger than I know. Bigger than anything I can see right now. Bigger than fear. Bigger than survival. For a long time, I thought this was just about staying alive. Finding food. Finding shelter. Outrunning the dead one more day. But the more I move forward, the more I understand something. This did not happen by accident. Not entirely. There are pieces missing. Truths buried under silence, lies, and time. Every abandoned city, every empty road, every broken home feels like part of a larger design. A chain of decisions made far away from people like me. I keep asking myself how deep it goes. Who knew what? Who stayed quiet? Who walked away when they still had a choice? I may be just one man moving through the ruins, but I am not blind anymore, and I am not done asking questions. One day, I will find the truth. Not rumors, not stories passed between survivors, the real truth. And maybe, along that path, I will find my wife. That hope never left me. It changed shape. It became quieter, heavier, but it is still there. I imagine her surviving the same way I did, learning, adapting, refusing to give up. If she is alive, she is not waiting. She is moving forward, just like me. And if we find each other again, this will not just be a reunion. It will be the beginning of something else. Because this world does not have to stay like this forever. Ruined, silent, owned by the dead. The zombies are not the end. They are the aftermath, the consequence. They can be cleaned out, one place at a time, one road at a time, one hard decision at a time. It will not be easy. It will cost lives. It already has. But humanity has rebuilt from ashes before, after wars, after plagues, after believing there was nothing left. We can rebuild again. Not the same world, not the broken one that led us here, but something better, something honest. A world where power does not hide behind closed doors, where truth is not locked away, where survival is shared. First, we clean this world of the dead. We take back the roads, the cities, the future. Then we rebuild. This story is bigger than me, bigger than fear, bigger than loss. And I will see it through, to the end.
Run! Help us! We're trapped! Get out of here!